Hello and welcome to Stretford Paddock. My name is Joe. We are here at Old Trafford for the news this morning. It is beeping, by the way. That's not the sound of me reversing or anything like that. That's the sound of remedial work being done to Old Trafford. It looked like they painted it the other day or the other week, and then now I turn up and all the paint's been flicked off it and they're painting it again. So maybe all the paint fell off, maybe it was just an undercoat. I don't know what was going on, but if you're a beeping noise, that's what that is. Coming up today, then, we're going to be looking at the latest on Raphael Varane. There have been explosive updates through the night. Fabrizio Romano has been tweeting through the night, and we can have a look as well at another source that we have to sort of decide the validity of, but they're tweeting some very exciting things as well. Fabrizio Romano has been tweeting through the night, so we'll be bringing you the latest there. And we've got another update from a source that I'd never heard of, but they're verified on Twitter. We'll read it out. You can decide the truth in it. I'm not saying it's true, but, you know, we'll give you the news. We'll also be giving you the latest on Saul Niguez and an update on the Camavinga situation. Let's have it. Right, let's start with Fabrizio Romano then, and he has been tweeting last night, coming out at midnight like some sort of Dracula type figure but for transfers, and he has said Raphael Varane and his agents confirmed to Real Madrid his desire to try a new experience in the Premier League. He'll be respectful waiting for the club agreement, but he wants Man United. Varane also confirmed to Man United he'll be ready to accept their contract bid, and as the train comes underneath, that may well be the sound of victory in the attempted acquisition of Raphael Varane. Because for me, the thing I was worried about was him going back to Real Madrid after the Euros and sort of slyly going, well, we've seen how interested in Man United I am. Have you got a bigger contract for me yet? And it doesn't seem like that's happening. It sounds like he has gone back to Real Madrid. Him and his team have said, you know what, we've come to this deal with Manchester United. We want you to sanction this. We want you to come to an agreement as well. And now it seems as though they're waiting for that to happen. Again, this thing of he's told them his desire to play for Manchester United, to me, just sounds fantastic, doesn't it? And this is a sort of separate matter in terms of the chance of this happening, which seem to be increasing by the day. The fact that we seem to be a destination again, and you look through our team, and 2 or 3 years ago, I remember speaking to a mate of mine who wasn't a United fan, and I was sort of defending some of the players we have, and obviously don't need to go into any names, but it was just going, from the outside looking in, your team isn't very good. And you've got players in most positions where you go, I wouldn't want them. Whereas now, Man United genuinely, I even think with the biases that we all have towards Manchester United, with the sort of impossible to remove kind of sentiment that we have towards these players, you look through this team, and if we had Raphael Varane to that, we have got 7 or 8 really top-class players in that first team, and I think 4 or 5 more throughout the squad that are right on that cusp as well. This is a team that is looking to win big trophies. It's a team that is, you know, doing well to recruit some of the top talent in Europe, and if this does go through, which it's looking more and more likely by the day, I think we've got to be in a position where we're challenging for every single trophy that is available to us next season. And another update on Raphael Varane then, and this is coming from, and again, excuse me if this is a well-known absolute bullshit source, but Madridista Real, which seems to be a Real Madrid magazine. They are verified on Twitter, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they've got any inside sources. It just means they're a well-known publication. They have said it is a matter of hours before United and Madrid reach an agreement for the transfer of Varane. The Frenchman is leaving, but he wants to do it in a pleasant way and is very grateful towards the club and Real Madrid. Someone else then who's been talking about this Varane deal is Jorge Valdano, someone who used to be the general manager at Real Madrid, doesn't work there anymore, but you would assume has some pretty good contacts if he was as high up as general manager. He said 2 Titans, when talking about Varane and Ramos, leave Madrid, they can mean something similar to what Chiellini and Bonucci mean in Italy. If he's talking about him leaving, he probably knows that he's leaving. You know, I'm pretty sure that he's got some sources inside the club that would be able to tell him he actually looks like he's going. To me, and I hate to say this because I hate getting excited for things that don't happen, this is looking very likely at the moment, and again, we'll keep you updated. But again, over the night, Fabrizio Romano, Varane has told Real Madrid that he wants to leave, and he's going to be respectful in waiting for Manchester United and Madrid to come to a financial agreement. Hopefully that can happen in the coming days. Right, next up then, and this is the pursuit of Saul Niguez, someone who apparently, from relatively reliable source, Stephen Hassan has been told is on a list, but was thought to potentially be too expensive, Manchester United. So that means we are bothered, we do kind of fancy him, but who knows whether it will happen. This anyway is coming from Francesc Aguiar, who supposedly writes for Mundo Deportivo in Spain, and he has said, while Athletic and and Barca remain stranded in negotiations for Saul Niguez and Anton Griezmann. Their manager, the Englishman Jonathan Barnett, is advancing in negotiations with Manchester United and has taken a decision to step for the Rojo Blanco, surpassing Liverpool. Now, I don't know what the Rojo Blanco means. Rojo Blanco, Rojo red, Blanco white. Don't know. I've just guessed that. That might be right. But anyway, when it says their manager, Jonathan Barnett, it means sort of like personal manager, not like club manager. Again, Mundo Deportivo, not necessarily the most reliable source, but we are reporting the news and where it comes from. And again, it just seems to me this one that both clubs, Barca and Atleti, want this deal to happen with Griezmann and Saul, and we're maybe being forced in there, shoehorned in there as a sort of way to get that deal over the line more quickly. I think, Jonathan Barnett, fair enough, he's doing his job, he's trying to get this deal done that his client wants. It would be a surprise to me if this did happen to Manchester United, because it seems as though he would rather go to Barcelona. It seems as though Liverpool want him more than United want him, so we're sort of second on the list in two different categories. It could happen, but I don't necessarily see it happening at the moment. But again, that is coming from Mundo Deportivo. Let me know what you think. And finally, then, before we go, let's have a little update on Eduard Camavinga. The president of Stade Rennes FC has provided an update on midfielder Eduardo Camavinga amid reports of a potential move to Manchester United this summer. Now, this was sort of a week, 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago even, that we saw these initial rumours for Camavinga. Negotiations are taking place. We've spoken to his team. Rennes would probably accept somewhere in the region of 30 million euros or 30 million quid. But the sticking point seemed to be that Camavinga either wanted to stay in France or wanted to move to Spain. Obviously, for anyone who doesn't know, that thing there ain't in Spain or France. It's in England. So that may be a sticking point, but this is the update from him. He has said discussions are still ongoing. Everything is open, either for a departure this transfer window or if an offer satisfies everyone, or to extend his contract. So really not closing any doors, is he? He won't leave for cheap. We've had a lot of discussion, but nothing is complete one way or another. It's essentially saying deals have been talked about, discussions have been made, but no one's basically leading the way. No one is right on the cusp of signing Eduardo Camavinga at the minute. To me, that's just him going, well, he's for sale if you want him. Like when someone says anything could happen, staying or going, that means he wants to sell him, he wants the money, but he doesn't want to go, we're desperate to sell him, because then you only get 15 million quid for him. So for me, I think this is going to be one of those where Varane is clearly the priority at the moment. Varane is clearly the number one target. I think he would be anyway, not just because of the timing and how it's worked out in terms of availability. I think a centre-back is the main target. I think maybe once the Varane deal gets done, we will see either a midfielder, whether that be Camavinga or Rice or maybe another option, Saul there, that we haven't really thought of much yet. I think we will see that coming hopefully in the next week or so. To me, though, the Varane story is pretty huge, and the fact that he has gone back to Real Madrid and said, you know what, I wasn't bluffing, I want to leave, I've already arranged personal terms, get that deal done, and when you do, I'll sign on the dotted line. This is pretty huge for Manchester United, and if this does happen, where does that leave us? Let us know in the comments what you think. Let us know whether you finally can allow yourself to say, I think Raphael Varane will join Manchester United, or whether you're still a little bit nervous, you've been burned in the past perhaps. Let me know in the comments below. Thank you very much for joining us, and again, that beeping isn't me. We'll see you in a bit.